Hi, let's make some soup. There's three examples in this video, shown step by step. The first one is chicken soup for dining in, the second one is lentil soup for dining in, and the last one is lamb soup for takeaway. So we walk over here and we find our soup fridge. We have three types of soup. Over here is the lentil soup. That's lentil soup, it's yellow. Over here is the white one, the lamb soup. It's white. And over here is our chicken soup, the red one. We're going to be making a chicken soup for dine-in this video. So we place it over here on the bench. There's usually a scoop and a pot near the stove. You can find it very easily. We'll just open the lid, place it over here. Stir the soup a little bit. Keep the pot on top of the soup so it doesn't spill all over the place. And we've put a few scoops of our chicken soup, about 5 scoops. And yeah, make sure to scoop it deeply so you can get all the soup stuff at the bottom of the container. So let's place the soup on top of the stove. Just like that. We'll find the lighter over here. Very easy to use. We just click it and it works. Boom. And let's turn on the gas. This one over here, push it in and turn left. Push in, turn left, aim, fire. Boom. Keep it all the way to the left, not like this, not like diagonally. I just want it all the way to the left, just like that. That's the max heat, and that's it. So we'll put the lighter back where we got it from, and let's put the soup away. Just like that. So, the soup is cooking. That's the first part. Let's start making the next part, the bread. Let's go. Do, 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 do. And now we'll find the bread just in this spot underneath the pizza oven where it keeps it a little bit warm. We'll grab a slice of bread out, just like that. And we'll want to toast it a little bit. So we'll place it on the corner of the grill over here. Just like that. So while the bread's cooking, let's get to the pickles. This is where you'll find the pickles. We're going to put it on a plate for the dine-in. So we have 2 plates. One is for 2 soups, one is for single soups. Obviously here we're making 1 soup, so we'll get the smaller plate. We'll find a tong around here. So we'll grab the tong, open the fridge, 1 slice of lemon, and then 4 or 5 pieces of the green pickles, 4 or 5 pieces of jalapenos. I think I put too much in this video, but I put some back, I think, yeah. And 4 or 5 pieces of the red pickles. So 1 piece of lemon, green pickles, red pickles, and jalapenos. There we have a pickle plate. That's called a pickle plate. Now, let's come back over here and flip the bread over so both sides are toasty. And I think I forgot to close the fridge door. We'll always keep the doors shut. Now, let's get the bread ready. Over here, we have our bread basket. Ta-da! Bread basket. Yeah. And we're going to put some bread in there. First, we bring it to the wood, grab a scissor out, cut it into a few pieces, 3 or 4, doesn't really matter. And we place the bread into the basket, just like that. And we always put the utensils back where we use them, so we have a nice, clean working environment. And let's get back to our soup. Yeah, soup. Alright. As you can notice, on the side, there's little bubbles. Yeah, zoom in. Yeah, those are side bubbles. The soup isn't ready yet. So we give it a bit of a stir. But when you start seeing the bubbles in the center, in the middle, that's when you know it's ready. Pay close attention here. Yep, there's a few bubbles coming out from the middle. That means we turn off the gas. We push in and back up. That means it's off. And let me zoom out a bit. And we're done. So, give it a little bit of a stir. And let's put this soup on a plate. That's a soup plate and a base. Just like that. Place it on the metal bench. And this is a metal pot, so that is hot. Don't touch it with your fingers, otherwise you'll burn yourself. You grab a cloth. There's a lot of yellow cloths in the fridge. Not the fridge, the kitchen. Wrap it around the pot and bring the pot on top of the plate. Just like that. And then just fully, deeply scoop the soup onto the plate one by one. As you see, when we hold the pot on top of the plate, even if it drips into the plate and nowhere else. And as you can remember, we put 5 scoops, and 5 scoops is enough for one plate, just like that. Not too little, not overfilled, just the perfect amount. And there we have a chicken soup. Let's take it to the customer. So we've got the soup ready, we've got the bread ready, we've got the pickles ready. Next up, we're just going to get the spoon ready as well. First of all, we'll just hand this over to the customer. As you can see, we're giving it straight into the middle of the table, where the customer can just straight away, like, that's the first thing, that's the main thing in front of the customer. So you grab a spoon over here, it's wet. Grab a tissue, dry it. Try not to touch it with your fingers. Nice dry tissue. And just put it on the side. Just like that. Next, let's bring our bread and our pickles. Grab our bread basket. Grab our pickle plate. And we place this on the side of the soup. Just like that. Beautiful. And then just the last step, we give some spices with the soups. Salt, pepper, and chili. White, black, and red. Just like that. Put it at the back. And congratulations, we have just made a beautiful Barala Kebab House chicken soup ready to enjoy. Ta-da! Awesome. Now, in this second example, we're going to make a lentil soup to dine in as well. Remember, we walk up to the soup fridge over here. And the lentil soup is the yellow color. That's the lamb, which is white. And this one is the lentil. And obviously the first one that we made was the chicken soup, which is red. Place the lentil soup on the bench. Keep the fridge closed. I don't know where the lid was for this lentil soup, so I think they wrapped it with cling wrap. Lentil soup's a little bit different because it's a bit thick. As you can see in the video, it's thick. So what we do is, with this thick lentil soup paste, we put about 3 full deep scoops in there, and then we add water to the rest. So over here we'll find the kettle with hot water, and we put about 2 scoops of water in there, just estimate it, and we've put a pinch of salt. Over here is the salt, grab a pinch, and put it in. And place the pot. We put the salt on so the flavor doesn't get diluted as much with the water. We grab the lighter and the gas, we push it in and we turn left. Push in, turn left. And then we click the lighter on the stove and put it back. Now remember, the lentil soup is very thick. So with the water, even though we just started it, just give it a bit of a stir so it mixes in well with the water. And now I'm just putting the lentil soup back over here. Making sure it's airtight. And place it back in the fridge. So, the soup is on the way. Let's make the bread. Find the bread underneath the oven. Grab a piece. Place it on the grill. Just like the last example. It's the same thing really. Grab a small little plate for the pickles to make a pickle plate. Usually you find the tongs over here. So yeah, you grab a tong. And again, just a piece of lemon. Ooh. A couple of pieces of pickles. A couple of pieces of red pickles. And a couple of pieces of jalapenos. You don't have to be very precise. It could be 3, it could be 6. Just around 4 or 5, like just around that area. Flip over the bread. Each side is usually about 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll grab the bread, place it onto the wood, grab our bread basket. That's where our bread baskets are. And grab the scissors over here. Cut into 3 or 4 pieces. I like to do 3 because it's just quicker. Place the bread into the basket. Place the utensils back. And actually, what I didn't do in the last example is this. We could just give the bread and pickles early to the customer and they can start nibbling on them while the soup comes. But we obviously leave some space for the soup in the middle. So we leave the middle empty. So here's the side bubbles. That means we just stir it a little bit. As you can see, there's still some thick little chunks in there. So the lentil soup, we have to make sure we stir it well. And obviously, as it gets hotter, it gets easier to mix those thick chunks, but you still have to mix it with the scoop. Yeah. So it's still not ready yet because there's no center bubbles. Let's go give get the spoon ready. Remember, you can find we'll get the spices here. Salt, pepper, and chili. Place it there. And remember, just over here, the spoon is wet, it's dripping. We grab a tissue and we dry it. Place it on the side of the plate. It doesn't matter which plate. It could be the pickle plate. It could be the soup plate. Just make sure it's on the side. Over here, we see more side bubbles. Constantly stirring it. Grabbing the soup plate and the soup base. Placing it next to it. As we can see, the side bubbles are getting more and more. And that means we're almost done. So we'll give it a mix. And then the pot decides to do a 360. And then, yes, that's where you can see the center bubbles. So you can push it in, turn it off. That means it's ready to enjoy. As you can see, the lentil soup is the soup that we stir a bit more than the other soups. Just because we want to make sure it's not like, it doesn't have those little thick areas and thick pieces. We grab the yellow cloth, not to burn our hands, hold the pot on top of the plate, and I'm still mixing it. Just to make sure there's no thickness. And full deep scoops, placing it into the soup plate while holding the pot on top of the soup plate. Yeah. Perfect. We also put red sauce on our soups. We put it on the lentil and the lamb. We don't put it on the chicken soup because the chicken soup's already red. So putting red sauce on the chicken soup is not doing anything. They're not going to see it. This red sauce is usually like a decorative thing more than a flavor thing. So we don't put it on the chicken soup, but we do put it on the lentil soup and we do put it on the lamb soup. That's our lentil soup, ready to enjoy. It's very popular. It's our second most popular soup. And here, let's make the lamb soup, but this time we're gonna make it takeaway. We sell a lot of takeaway soups, so it's important to know both dine-in and takeaway style. That's the white one, that's the lamb soup. We'll grab the lamb soup over here. Our lamb soup can be a little bit watery on top. It's got a lot of meat at the bottom though. So what we like to do is mix it before we put it into the pot. That way you get a good amount of water and a good amount of meat. Full deep scoops. Just like that, about 5 scoops. And the same thing, we grab the lighter and push it in, turn left, aim it, boom. Place it back, and we put the soup back in the fridge while it is cooking. Now, let's get to making the bread. Remember, this is a takeaway soup, not dine-in, so it's a bit different. But the toasting the bread's the same. We would just place it on the grill. We come to this area and we find a takeaway container over here, a small round container, and we grab a small round container lid. And we put the exact same ingredients inside the container. Let me just grab a tong. I think I put it here. So a piece of lemon, a couple of pieces of pickles, a couple of pieces of red pickles, and a couple of pieces of jalapenos. Some people say jalapenos, some people say jalapeno. To be honest, I like jalapeno, but everyone teases me for saying jalapeno, so everyone's like, everyone's telling me to say jalapeno. That's the right way to say it. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure both sides are toasty. Over here, I'm going to show you an example of cutting the bread into 4 pieces. Grab the scissors and tongs. Just like that. Now, for a takeaway, we put it into a paper bag, which you can find right here. Takeaway bread bag. And we place each piece into the bag. Open it up. and place like that. It's going to go all into the same bag. So let's just bring this pickle plate container next to the bread and let's go look after the soup. We don't have to give a spoon or spices with a takeaway soup. So it's just the bread, pickles, and the soup. As we can see, the side bubbles are happening. Stir it a bit. I may have put a little bit too much meat here, but that's okay. Happy customers. And a takeaway soup container plus lid is just right on top of the dine-in plates. That's the container and that's the lid. The container looks small, but it actually takes a lot of soup. It's enough to fill one person up. Side bubbles are getting more aggressive. Stir, stir, stir. Crushing the big pieces of meat. See the bubbles in the middle and we're done. Push it in, turn it off. And we'll grab a yellow cloth, not to burn our hands. Keep the pot on top of the container. The lamb soup is our most popular soup by far. It's very, very, very popular with the Turkish customers in the Turkish community, but non-Turkish customers are starting to catch on with this soup and they are loving it. Again, we put red sauce in both the lentil and the lamb, but not the chicken because there's no point. Just a few drops. Looks very nice. Little bit of decoration. And we fill it up 90% of the way. We fill it up just because the lid can fit. Because if we fill it up 100% of the way and then put the lid on, the soup's gonna spill all over. And even when they're carrying it home, it can pop up and spill all over. So we bring all the materials together, grab a small bag, open the bag up like that. We stack the pickles on top of the soup. So soup goes into there, pickles, and the bread, just like that. But we test if it's going to wobble. As you can see, it's a little bit wobbly, right? So then we push it more into the center and we just test. Cool. There's no more wobble. It's much better. We tie the bag. I have a bit of trouble tying the bag here. 2 times in a knot, nice and secure. And that's our lamb soup ready to go. Thank you.